Hey everyone, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now that all the modules are framed up, you will see here that I decided, you can probably barely see it, but I decided to go ahead and build the corner module that's going to have the turnout on it for a yard while I was at it. And so the next step here, now that all the modules are built, I'm going to build the legs to stand them up on. So I decided I wanted this top 48 inches. So because it's going to be 1.5 inches above these holes that I put in here, I made my legs 46.5, and then I made marks down. This is just a little less than 2.5. It's 2 3/8, so that it won't catch the foam. And then I made another mark a foot from the bottom, which just happened to be 3 feet. And it just so happens that because these legs are 46.5, because of the fact that I want it 48 inches above the floor, it fit right in the frame of the module perfectly. So I've got myself, you know me and jigs, I've got myself a jig to put this together with. And all the cross pieces I made, that I'll cut out 22.5 by 2.5. I did way more than I needed. I miscalculated on that, but I need them for cross pieces for legs anyway, so it worked out good. So what I'll do is, by keeping this flush to the outside edge here, I can put it on my 2 3/8 inch marks down, put a couple of tacks in, make sure this one's tight, and this works perfect as a jig because that lines right up with the holes that I put in there. And my mark that I ended up putting down here, I'll go ahead and get this on the mark. Little glare right there, it's kind of hard to see. That leg is a little twisted, so I'll just go ahead and push it over tight. There we go. Now, I want to put a cross piece on here so that I can keep it from twisting this way. So I measured from here to here, the long points, and then I just set this on here. This is my easiest way of doing it. I set this on here, and I marked it here, 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 and then I flipped it over, and I took those pencil marks and just took them to the top, and then I used my square. And when I squared it up, when I did it, it turned out that the angle was 32 degrees. That it won't work for everything like that. I just did on this one. So I drew myself a line. Then I took these all outside, and I cut a whole bunch of same length at 32 degrees. And me, the way I do things is when I get in the mode cutting pieces, I try to cut all I can all at one time. Then I just take this, put you in here, like so. There we are. Tack that in. It's just a hair up right there, so I'll just go ahead and tack that in a little bit. There. Now, because these legs are going to get some heavy duty moving around and stuff, I'm going to take and just put a wood screw in the cross braces here. And because I've got 1.5 3/4, I have 2 1/4 thickness there, so I'm just using 2-inch screws, but you can use anything from 2 down to 1.5 to work fine. There we go. Now, I'll straighten it out together here. There we go. Now, there she is. And of course, when you stand it up, like that, and the module will fit right on, and the hole in the module will go poof, and that'll hold the bottom of the module there. Okay, where am I? Oh yes. Alright, we've got all the modules built. I've built all 4 corner modules, plus I've built a couple other extra corner modules just in case I expand someday. And then I've got my 2 straight modules built, which are just a 2x4. And I went ahead and measured the inside, and inside of course is 22.5 by 46.5. So I've got a piece of foam. And this here foam is fiberglass pink. But I've also used other foam too. And it works just as well. Nice and light stuff. And this stuff is 1.5 inches thick, which is why I left 1.5 inches on top here. And I cut this slightly smaller. I cut it like 22 and a little less than a half, and 46 and a little less than a half. So it'll fit inside here. And of course I've already test fit this before I start doing the other. So, and I cut this on the table saw and the chop saw, and that keeps everything nice and square so that my module will end up square. You can also cut it with a razor knife too. Just be really careful to get everything straight and square. And for gluing this, I like using this original Gorilla Glue right there. This stuff is, I guess it's a urethane glue, but it reacts with water. When you squirt water on it, it will start a chemical reaction, and then it will turn yellow almost like grape stuff, and it really holds. So in the instructions, they tell you to spray your surface with water and then put the glue down. I've always had pretty good luck just putting the glue down and then mixing it with water, so we'll do that. So to start with, I'll do the sides. And you don't want to get carried away with this stuff. You just kind of want to put just a nice light little bead along. If you really want to get carried away with it, you can use a spreader, so you get a really nice even coating on it. But I've never bothered that. Like I said, you don't want to get carried away with this. Now let's go ahead and do up this end. And we'll do up this end. Now, lay this down flat. Put this on each one of my joists here going across now. I'll put just a little skim coat. Now this stuff here, it does expand. I think it says up to 5 times when you activate it with water. So you definitely have to use weight when you're using this stuff, or clamps, which is why you see all the paint cans there. All right, so now I've got that spread out. So I'll just take, I just got a little utility bottle here, and I'll just mist everything. Get her damp. nice and damp. And the side with the writing here is going to be the downside, so I'll just give it just a slight misting too. There we go. Just slide her into place. Down. You'll see here on this edge, I'm just a little wee bit low. By putting on the boards, like so. Put one here, right in the middle. There we are. Put one flat at the other end. Then it's just a simple case of taking these paint cans are pretty good weight. They're mostly full of paint. Some of these are actually full of paint. There we are. Now all we do now is just leave these setting. Since it sets up in an hour to 2 hours, and it fully cures in 24 hours. I know from past experience that if I let it set for about 4 hours, it's good. It's not going to move. So anyway, there it is. And now all we've got to do is 5 more modules, including my corner module. Well, fellas and fellettes, through the magic of technology, what took 4 hours is just a couple of seconds for y'all. And I went ahead and took the weights off, and this is the top of the module. And this is what it looks like on the bottom side. And you can see where the blue has turned that yellow color and expanded a little bit, and that makes for a really good solid module. So I've got this one done. There's 5 more to go, and then it'll be time to start laying some track on these things. So thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already, and share this video. It may help someone else. So until next time, bye.